even gas tanks, you'll find different ones. And the hanging model, there was a cast iron one, which is this one right here. I like them cast iron tanks, but it's got the small bung in it. It's 1/8 inch pipe thread, and this one over here, I think that's 3/8. Pipe thread is what that is. But you can get aluminum. This is a nice one right here. You can get aluminum one, and this one's got the big one in it, and you can look at the screen up in there. That's two choices on the hanging models. Let's see, we got a wasp came by, but in the electrolysis, good to go.
You know, I kind of favor this tank right here.
Yeah.
So I kind of favor this type of tank, like these 4 up here.
Yeah, that's what I say. And them's cheaper on eBay.
Yeah, I favor that.
So, but anyway, we're going to use this one right here just because it's so clean. You know, it's a good tank. And I'm not even sure it's aluminum. It's some kind of die-cast stuff. It's not a very good grade. But they survived, you know.
It'll rot away, won't it?
Not in a normal lifetime. They'll last forever. So just look at that one. It's almost perfect. But, you know, just break them down and see what kind of parts you got. You never know.
Some screws.
I tell you, 2 bolts you're going to need is for the kick pedal. So them kick pedal bolts, you know, you need them. I think that engine's going to be like a little kit form, you know. Just all of the parts will be there, and just a matter of putting together. And that's probably about what's wrong with me now, is that tester's glue. I mean, there was a time when that stuff was not healthy. You know, it was a warning on the tube.
What'd it say?
Harmful. Cause brain damage.
These didn't have
I was young at the time.
Washers, did they?
No. So.
No, I think you're alright.
If there's any discrepancy, I'm going to blame it on that tester's glue, because I built a many a model car in my day.
What happened to them? Where they at?
You know how models are. You know, they got a lifespan of their own. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they have a useful life. And
I've built a lot of models too. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, in the later days, the glue now ain't as bad. You know, some kind of water base even, I think, that's available. But
yeah, it's not bad. There's 2 more tanks over here.
Which kind?
One's cast iron and one's dead.
Hanging type?
Yeah.
You ended up with a lot of them engines. That hanging model.
I sold y'all them feet tanks for $65.
And early model engines too. You got a bunch of them. But, you know, just break them apart and see what's in there. And I think the way this one right here is stuck, the pistons is all the way up. And sometimes you can turn the crankshaft and get them out, but I think you're going to have to soak this in a lot. you know, maybe just put the whole thing in a pectoralis tank. So that's kind of the story on that one. Could still be good, you know, it's got some good parts in it. And the same way on this, and we've done had this on the bench one time before, and we was gonna let it soak, so. And this one. You know, we didn't have a gasket scraper until today. We had 3 of them, and well, there's one. I started to say I couldn't even find one of the 3. But even, you know, just a little tip like that right there might help somebody. Using a wood chisel for a gasket scraper works perfect. And you know, that comes underneath that category. You know, abusing your tools, you know. Use it for something that it wasn't made for. Okay, that'll be the case here. It wasn't made for a gasket scraper, but it works perfectly. So, you know, once you say that's a gasket scraper, then it's no more wood chisels. You know, backwards thinking, I guess. What time is it? I think I'll go home. I think it's getting late, ain't it?
I think it's about the time to get something done, you know.
Yeah.
This is the top of the time of the night that work gets done.
Well, that's true. At least I'll sleep in tomorrow. I may sleep a half a day. You know, when you plan it, it don't happen. You know it? You wake right up and can't go back to sleep. So.
You go over frying an egg and you just listen out the back door and you'll hear a Maytag running.
Yeah. I heard it the other day from the steps. We'll have to run a tap in these holes here for you. All holes, except on them last 2. You know, they were just put together. Ended up good with solid running engine. Yeah, the kind that someone may would like to have to disassemble and paint, you know, and fix up their own self. You know. But this here has a bent crankshaft. See, when you turn it.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
You know, just put you something up there that won't move, and when you turn this right here, oh yeah, real bad. So, yeah, I think we could take this off and cut that crankshaft off, right in here somewhere or another, and weld that up, and then build this half of the engine with a flywheel on it, like upright. You know. But you have to keep this here in order to be able to get the crankshaft in there and adjust it and all. But you could cut it and weld that up. Let me do that. But that looks like, well, like them throws, you know, you don't never know what they are true, to be honest with yourself, until you've got it out there and looked at it up close. See, that looks pretty good, but it's been sitting around a while. But it's bent too far to chuck up in the lathe and do anything with. But you know, you actually can straighten that.
A lot of trouble, ain't it?
Well, it can be done. That's the thing of it. It can be done. So. Missed that. I missed that. So you're just going to set this aside and grind that off and get that out. So, does that.